Welcome to Boots in Baltimore. I am here with Mike Stoll and Sherrie Szekalski, co-owners of ReadySmartGo. So tell us a little bit about ReadySmartGo. What do you do?
ReadySmartGo helps small businesses and micro businesses and their owners and managers prepare and plan for a potential disaster or emergencies or anything that could go wrong to disrupt your business. That's the main thrust of the business, is to help train people to plan.
So I think everybody can relate to COVID being this massive external disruption.
It was the biggie.
And it's certainly gotten people thinking along those lines. But what other types of, barring major catastrophic pandemic, what other types of things can you help people prepare for?
Well, there's natural disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, those types of things. There are man-made disasters, fires, active shooters.
Technology
will have an impact on your business. Technology outages, if you are out of power or communication technology for an extended period of time, your business will suffer. And then there's the unforeseen things. No one foresaw the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsing, right. But that has impacted a couple of hundred, at least, small companies because it disrupted their supply chain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, so what types of things do you do to help people prepare? You do have some one-time trainings, and then you also do some membership type things. What is it that you offer to people?
Well, currently, our current business model is to do, first off, we want to reach small business. That's our key thing. And it's hard for small business to part with the money to spend on something that may never happen.
Or the time.
Or the time. And the time is money. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So what we've been trying to do and have been doing is working through associations, professional associations, that their membership at their conferences could have us in to talk to them about how to survive an active shooter situation, or how to plan for an emergency incident of some sort. And we're kind of evolving our business, which I think we're going to talk about a little bit, into rather than doing that big in-person seminar, which we could do all over the country, but we can only do it for this group or this group, and opening it up to our own community of members so that people can have access to the information and us in a more widely basis.
Mm-hmm.
On a more widely
Well,
basis.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So large Fortune 500 companies, they have entire departments
exactly.
who do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Or and there are consultants that they can hire that do this.
Right.
So
and there's the federal government who offers it on ready.gov. Go
right.
there for free.
Mm-hmm.
But try to make some sense of it for yourself.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, a couple lifetimes ago, I did try volunteering with CERT because I was interested in trying to. I figured if something bad happened, I wanted to be part of the solution. I also really wanted to know what was going on. I felt like if I had the information, that would be critical. The most important thing that I could do is be in the know and put myself in a position to be in the know. Mm-hmm. And there are great resources on FEMA. There's lots of things about, get your 72-hour kit put together, do stuff. But I've been preached to about getting a 72-hour kit together for my entire life. But it didn't occur to me, well, if something bad happens, I'm probably going to be at work.
Yeah.
Where am I spending most of my time?
Yeah.
Right? Most of my daylight hours.
Right.
So I do think that it makes
right.
a lot of sense to have somebody who can speak to that. What are the supplies that you need there? Mm-hmm. What is the knowledge you need there? I'm thinking of my coworker, my old coworker 100 years ago, who was so excited to be the person who had the shoulder band. Follow me.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's one in every organization.
Yep.
But you bring up a good point. We spend a lot of time at work, mm-hmm. and small business owners, as I mentioned, are busy trying to get their business
right.
going. But employees and customers are crucial to this business. So if the employees are at work or there are customers in the location, how will they know what to do?
Mm-hmm.
And is the place equipped to handle to do something about an emergency or an incident that may happen? So this is why we want to talk to the business owners or the managers of the departments of the larger businesses to instill this as a part of who they are and to give employees a secure safety and security sense of that when they go to work, that they can do something and they know what to do and they know who's supposed to do what.
Yes.
And in addition to that, there's also the aftermath of the incident.
Oh, yes.
So afterwards, when you're doing your recovery, you have to protect your employees, you have to serve your customers, and there may be opportunity to be even more successful if you respond well than
Right.
if you don't respond well. You may find yourself with customers that can't be served elsewhere
Right.
because other business owners weren't prepared.
They shut down. I mean, I'm thinking of Bubba Gump
Exactly.
Shrimp Company, right?
Yeah.
If you've got the only boat,
Yep.
you get all the business.
Yep.
So it is a plan.
Yep.
As you were talking, I was thinking more about this idea, and it is empowering to feel like you have a plan, you know what to do, but also everyone's livelihoods depends on this, right? It's not
Absolutely.
just the owner.
That's right.
Everybody needs a job. Everybody
Yep.
needs to
It-
have.
It impacts employees, it impacts suppliers.
Look at what happened with the Key Bridge. I am so impressed with how that all came about.
The recovery has
The
come about.
recovery.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it happened, the pilot of the boat knew he couldn't steer the ship. He could see the ship heading towards the pier that was holding the bridge up. He did a mayday, which sent out a signal, which was pre-set up to go to the state police. The state police instantly, within 90 seconds, stopped the traffic on the bridge.
And saved hundreds of lives.
Not one other car than the poor workers who were working on the bridge was affected by it.
It was
Incredible.
It was.
And that shows
That's
the value
preparation.
of a plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Wow. So obviously you're focused mostly on small businesses, but do you also do consultations for individuals or families?
Well, we do, but you know, business owners and managers are people too. So they're individuals.
Yes, they are human.
So
believe it or not,
we're switching our business over to this membership community, as I had mentioned, and we will invite anyone who wants to join to join. There will be information and sessions and discussions and guest authors and guest speakers and whatever who we can find and how we can put it together to bring this information to anyone who's interested in preparing their homes, their businesses, or what have you. It's all the same concept. It's just a little different applications, yes.
Right, but if you're not prepared at home, then you can't give your attention to your business. So people need to do both.
Right.
And one of the things that brought Sherrie and I to doing this was the fact, if you try to find online a place that caters to small business and the issues that small business owners and managers have for preparedness, it's like virtually non-existent. I mean, there's a few things here and there, and you'll find a list here or a chart there or something, but a community, we haven't found one yet.
And 99% of corporate America is small business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a huge group of people who are not being served.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking more about this membership model and how it makes so much sense, because I have been to conferences or I've been to events where, even preparedness events, where people are like, rah, rah, let's do it. And then they go home and do nothing.
Do
back to
nothing.
the real
That's
world.
right. That's right.
Absolutely. Guilty as charged.
So it makes a lot of sense that you would have an opportunity for people to not only get the information in small enough increments that they could act, but then also have the accountability of, I have a next one coming, or I'm going to have another assignment, or I have, this is going to be a process and I don't want to get behind, so I can keep going.
Right.
And then also to have people who can help you through, well, I have questions. Well, what size generator do I need? Or how many of this? And where should I store it? How should I store it? Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And that's why having the membership is important, because it builds a community.
Mhm.
We're not electricians. We may not be able to tell someone what size generator we need. But if we build a good community, there will be someone in the group who knows
Mhm.
and can give good advice. So we bring people together to help each other is the goal.
And it's also why we tell small businesses to make it a part of their culture. You know, when you have a staff meeting, if you have a weekly staff meeting, have an item in there about preparedness. All right, where are we at on the locked doors
Right.
Policy.
policy that we had? You know, bringing it up all the time and putting it on top of people's minds so that when something does happen,
They know what to do.
you just launch right into it without thinking.
It's almost like having muscle memory. I've
Mhm.
done this so many times, I know what to do.
Mhm.
That's why they do fire drills.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how did you guys get involved in this, or what's your interest in preparedness?
Well, I was a director of IT for Johns Hopkins for almost 40 years. I was the manager responsible for Y2K preparedness. Had to make sure that, and I didn't have to fix all 300 systems, but I had to make sure that the people responsible fixed all 300 systems. And that led then to thinking about disaster recovery, which is the IT side of it, and business preparedness. So the board charged our CIO with going out to each department and making sure that they had a business continuity plan in place. So if the accounting office couldn't work in their space, what would they do?
Mhm.
And so IT was charged with leading that, even though we weren't the business experts. We knew what questions to ask and were able to help people. So, and then going forward from then, every project that we did, every system that we implemented, we made sure we had those plans in place. So it just became a part of our culture.
So smart.
So then, Mike, you can take over for your side.
Yeah, I was working for a security company down in Washington, doing marketing, and one of our clients asked if we knew anybody who could do an active shooter survival seminar, and we were like, "Huh? What?" And he said, "Well, I got one proposal from a group out in California, but they wanted to charge something like $18,000 or some huge amount of money." And he said, "You know, our budget's just not there." Well, my background, I used to be a professional speaker and trainer, and then I owned a professional speakers bureau. So for many years, I have been in the training industry. And I thought to myself, well, I could probably put a seminar together. So I talked it over with the owner of the security company, and we made a proposal to the client, who happened to be an association. And lo and behold, they accepted it. We did the seminar. Sherrie was in attendance, and she said, "Hey, you're pretty good at that."
Driving home, I said, "Yeah, we need to be doing this. Why aren't we doing this?"
And so that's where the whole idea kind of came together, using her background with disaster recovery on the technology side. My background is being able to help deliver a message to an audience. And then, of course, you know, I did the research to put together that particular seminar on active shooter survival, which we still do today.
And then the third aspect was Mike was a small business owner for many years. My dad was a small business owner. And we wanted to find a way to use our talents and knowledge to give back to a community that really needs help. And that's what drew us to focus in on micro businesses in particular.
Yeah, and so that's how it evolved. So we just started, you know, it wasn't just, hey, let's turn the key and open the door. It just kind of
It took a little time.
Nurtures and evolves and takes turns, and you stop doing anything, and then all of a sudden a burst of energy, and you know, and then it came upon us that you know, we could help a whole lot more people for a whole lot less money just by having a membership, which is not available yet, and but we're hoping it's going to be up and running sometime in June 1, after June 1. So
Excellent. Excellent.
That's
Very
how-
exciting.
That's how it happened. Oh, and if anybody is interested in checking that out, first off, they can go to our website, which is ReadySmartGo.com. That's not ready set, that's Ready Smart
We were
Go.
talking about that earlier because I'm not clever enough to
We-
be ready, smart,
Yeah,
go.
we say get ready, get smart, get going. That's our motto at ReadySmartGo.com. And if you want to just send me an email, if you want to follow up with anything, it's info@ReadySmartGo.com.
Okay. Well, that's great. So why Baltimore? Why locate here?
Well, we're both Baltimore natives. And so Mike suggested that I share our personal story.
Ooh.
So we've known each other for over 50 years.
Okay.
When we met, Mike was with his buddy Dave. I was
Okay.
16,
Okay.
Dave was 19, and Mike was 21. So they wouldn't ask me out because I was too young.
That's right.
Mike gave me a dime and told me to call him when I was 18.
That's right. Public phones were
Yeah.
10 cents back
Yeah,
then.
that was a long time ago. So then Mike got a job in Washington, D.C., moved down there, met someone and married her, married Debbie. I started dating Dave, and Dave and I got married. And when Mike found out that we were getting married, he wanted to know what I had done with his dime. I told him I spent it. So, and Mike was an usher, a groomsman in our wedding when Dave and I got
Oh,
married.
wow.
Dave passed away 7 years ago from cancer. Deb passed away a couple of years later. We reconnected, and it just grew from there. And when Mike turned 70, I told him it was time I gave him his dime back. And here it is.
Oh, that is so sweet.
So we just came together and realized that we wanted to be life partners, and then he convinced me that I wanted to be in a business because I was a corporate person my entire life.
I've been a small business guy since 1980, believe it or not. I haven't had a job since 1980.
And I never saw myself in small business until we came together. So
That is a great story.
so that's why we're in
I just
Baltimore.
love it.
So
I
he
love
moved
it.
back to DC to be with me.
And a happy
I mean,
ending
back to
for all.
Baltimore.
Happy ending, indeed.
I'm sorry, he moved back to Baltimore to be with me.
That's right. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I grew up. We're sitting here at our home on the back river, just about, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 miles from the bridge that collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up maybe 5 minutes away
Not
from
even.
here. Not even 5 minutes.
In a little row house
In a little row house in Charlesmont.
where his mother lived until she passed.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So we're homeboys.
Yeah, we are. So,
Well,
but
that's great.
we love Baltimore. There's so much here
Yes.
to love about Baltimore.
Well, thank you so much for all of this. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for the great story. I'm going to dine out on that for a month.
Thank you for
Thank you,
coming in
LeeAnn.
and talking with us. We really appreciate it.
We're
No
so
problem.
glad to be able to do this.
Well, again, Boots in Baltimore, more interviews for you soon. Go to ReadySmartGo.com to find out more.
Thank you.